Hi, everybody. It is New Year's Eve. Well, maybe I should put on, put on a hat for this. No, I don't think so. I can celebrate without that kind of silliness. It is kind of sucking here. It's starting the rain, and they're just finishing up the floats. They're going to be heading out to the parade, and supposedly in Pasadena, there's going to be an inch to 2 inches of heavy rain tomorrow while the parade is going on and the Rose Bowl football game. So fingers are crossed. We'll see how all this ends up. Sometimes, just a freak moment, a window where it isn't bad and they can pull this all off and then it can rain afterwards. So we'll see what happens with it. But I'm hopeful just for everybody's sake on this. They'll be safer. I was just out running errands and driving, and boy, people just don't know what they're doing. It's just like there's a lot of one-way streets around here, and see people going the wrong way down them. There's a lot of out-of-towners that are in here, and they're not paying any attention. So I hope everybody's okay. I'm going to do like one little last of 2025 music, and then tomorrow I've got some ideas to start 2026, and I'm looking forward to today's what in about 5 days I'll be back in the studio with Allison Porter, which I'm really looking forward to. I've did a previous album with her and a single, and she is such a delight to work with. And anybody who hasn't checked out the previous one that I posted, there was a movie many, many years ago called Curly Sue, and Allison was Curly Sue when she was a little kid, and she also, I think she won Star Search when she was like a little kid and stuff, but she's evolved into a remarkable singer, songwriter and stuff. And I love working with her. So it's going to be a nice way to kick off the year. And right after that, head down to Florida to get on a boat with Lyle Lovett. And we're heading off to do about 4 days of a cruise, and then come back from that and head up to Morro Bay to do a screening of the immediate family documentary and a book signing and a lecture at the university, and come back from that and write in rehearsals for the Grammy pre-show. So it's good. The year is starting off kind of nuts. And my kind of motto is, you can't stop the music. And that brings me to today's music. It was pretty nuts. There was a movie made in 1980, in the 80s, called Can't Stop the Music, with the Village People. And I worked on the music for that. So I'm going to feature some. I'm going to read you the whole thing here. It's so great. I just love this. I'll tell you a little story about it too. Can't Stop the Music is a 1980 American musical comedy film directed by Nancy Walker in her only direct feature film. Written by Alan Carr and Bronte Woodard, the film is a pseudo-biography of the 1970s disco group The Village People, loosely based on the actual story of how the group formed. The film also stars Valerie Perrine, Caitlyn Jenner in her film debut, Steve Guttenberg, Paul Sand, Tammy Grimes, June Havoc, Barbara Rush, Altavice Davis, who was Sammy Davis's wife, Marilyn Sokol, and the Ritchie family in their only film. Produced by Thorn EMI Screen Entertainment, formerly EMI Films, distributed by independent distributor Associated Film Distribution. The film was released after disco's peak. It received largely negative reviews from critics and was a box office bomb. Alongside Xanadu, Can't Stop the Music is known for inspiring the creation of the Golden Raspberry Awards, winning first Razzies for Worst Picture and Worst Screenplay at the first Golden Raspberry Awards. Yeah, that's it, as long as they spell your name right. Songwriter Joe Morell, a reference to Village People creator Jacques Morali, quits his job at the local record store after countless insults and demands by his tough-minded boss, and gets a break DJing at a local disco, Saddle Tramps. His roommate Samantha Sam Simpson, a supermodel newly retired at the peak of her success, attends the disco one night. While avoiding advances from the sleazy owner Benny Murray, she sees the crowd's response to a song he composed for her, Samantha. and agrees to help her. She agrees to help him obtain a record deal. Her ex-boyfriend, Steve Waits, president of Marrakesh Records, a reference to the Village People record label Casablanca Records, is more interested in rekindling their romantic relationship than in Jack's music, and more interested in taking business calls than wooing Samantha, but agrees to listen to a demo. Deeming Jack's vocals inadequate, Sam recruits neighbor and Saddle Tramps waiter, go-go boy Felipe Rose, the Indian, fellow model David Scar Hodo, the construction worker who daydreams of stardom in a solo number, I Love You to Death, and Randy Jones, the cowboy, on the streets of Greenwich Village, offering dinner in return for their participation. Meanwhile, Sam's former agent, Sidney Channing, orders her long-suffering personal assistant, Girl Friday, Lulu Brecht, to attend, hoping to lure back the stars. Ron White, a lawyer from St. Louis, is mugged by an elderly woman en route to deliver a cake that Sam's sister sent and arrives disconcerted. Brecht gives Jack drugs, which unnerves him when his friend, fellow model and dancer Alicia Edwards brings singing cop Ray Simpson, the policeman. But Jack records the quartet on Magic Night. Ron pawed all night at the man-hungry Brecht and is overwhelmed by the culture shock and of it all and leaves. The next day, Sam encounters Ron, who apologizes, proffers the excuse that he is a Gemini, I'm a Gemini too, and follows her home. After Sam unintentionally causes Ron to spill leftover lasagna all over himself, she and Jack help him remove his trousers. After Jack departs, Sam and Ron spend the night together. Newly interested in helping, Ron offers his Wall Street office to hold auditions. There, Glenn M. Hughes, the Leatherman, performs Danny Boy atop the piano. He and Alex Briley, the GI, a stagehand at the theater where Sam's friend Alicia Edwards works, joins the group, now a sextet. They get their name from an offhand remark by Ron's socialite mother, Norma. Ron's boss, Richard Montgomery, overwhelmed by the carnival atmosphere, insists that the firm not represent the group, and Ron quits. Ron suggests a new location for rehearsal space at the YMCA. The ensuing production number features its athletic denizens in various states of undress. That evening, the group cuts a demo, Liberation, for Marrakech, but Steve sees limited appeal and Sam refuses his paltry contract. Reluctant to stay on her own, they decide in self-finance by throwing a pay party. To bankroll the party, Sam acquiesces to Channing's plea to return for a TV advertising campaign for milk, providing the Village People are featured. The lavish number Milkshake begins as Sam pours milk to 6 little boys in an archetypical costumes and the promise that they will grow up to be the Village People. The advertisers reject the concept and refuse to broadcast the spot. Norma then invites the group to debut at her charity fundraiser in San Francisco. Sam lures Steve by promising a romantic weekend, but the influence that she would proceed with the seduction takes Ron aback, and Sam ends their romantic relationship. On his private jet, Steve prepares a tryst, but rather Jack and his former chorus girl mother Helen arrive to negotiate the contract. Initially reluctant, Helen charms Steve with her kreplach, and eventually they're negotiating the T-shirt merchandising for the Japanese market. In San Francisco, in the dressing room before the show, Ron, relieved that Sam did not travel or have sexual intercourse with Steve, proposes to her. Montgomery appears, seeking to rehire Ron as a junior partner representing the group. Followed by a set with the Ritchie family, Give Me a Break. The Village People triumphantly debut before a cheering crowd with Can't Stop the Music. And just all these people, again, the cast on this was Steve Guttenberg, Valerie Perrine, she was Sam in it, Caitlyn Jenner as Ron White, Paul Sand, Tammy Grimes, the Village People, who were Alex Briley, David Hodo, Glenn Hughes, Randy Jones, Philippe Rose, and Ray Simpson. Then June Havoc as the mother, Barbara Rush, Altaviz Davis, Marilyn Sokol, Russell Knipe, Jack Weston, Lee Taylor Young, and Dick Patterson as the record store manager. Original title, Disco Land, Where the Music Never Ends, Can't Stop the Music, was fictionalized account of the formation of the Village People. Alan Carr announced the film in 1979, describing it as singing in the rain with a disco crowd, and stated that the film would star the Village People and all the people I've said. It was going to be the first of a three-picture slate from Carr, including Chicago and Josephine Baker's story starring Diana Ross. Filming was to start August 20th of that year and was financed by EMI, then under the aegis of Barry Spikings. When asked why EMI were making the film about disco so long after Saturday Night Fever, Spiking said, "I hope it is different. The film will break new ground." The film's director, Nancy Walker, a theater, film, and television star since the 40s, had been nominated for 2 Tony Awards and 4 Golden Globe Awards and 8 Emmy Awards. Walker had guest starred as Rhoda Morgenstern's, Valerie Harper's mother, Ida Morgenstern, in several episodes of The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and continued that role in its spin-off, Rhoda. After establishing the character, Walker directed some episodes of both series, along with episodes of other sitcoms. Can't Stop the Music was her lone effort into theatrical film direction. And just a little bit more here. Okay, actually, shit, there's a lot more. It's whatever. Casting. The film's supporting cast includes, named all those people, Cheetah Rivera and Pat Ast were initially cast but dropped out of the film's production. Can't Stop the Music was Caitlyn Jenner's film debut as Bruce Jenner after becoming famous in the for three world record-setting performances in the decathlon and gold medal win in the 76 Olympic Games. Jenner's record stood from 75. Oh, so it goes on about that. Village People auditions depicted the film. It goes on. You can read all this stuff. It's crazy. The schedule for the filming was 11 weeks, 8 in Los Angeles, 2 in New York, and 1 in San Francisco. Proposed week of filming on Fire Island was scrapped due to fear of the weather. Carr was coming off a massive worldwide hit with the pop musical Grease when shooting took place between May and July of '79 at the height of the disco craze. Carr took a hands-on role with the production and personally directed the cast male athletes, extras in YMCA. They did it at MGM in Culver City, blah, blah, blah. Tensions between Walker and Perrine rose on the set to the point Walker could not be present for scenes featuring Perrine, leaving director and cinematographer Bill Butler to direct her in place. Additionally, Perrine was reportedly unhappy that a dance number in which she performed was cut from the film. Oh, God. Carr said he decided to change the title during filming because, as the music score included other ballads and Broadway numbers, it would be inaccurate to call it Discoland. However, the decision was made shortly after Disco Demolition Night was effectively ended with the popularity of the genre. During the filming, sales of the Village People's albums started to decline and disco became increasingly unfashionable. They'll still be hot, said Carr of the Village People. If not, I will resurrect them. 2 of the band's biggest hits, In the Navy and Macho Man, did not appear in the film, though Perrine wears a T-shirt emblazoned with the words Macho Woman as she jogs through the men's locker room at the YMCA. Another reference was one of the band's songs, San Francisco, You Got Me, appears in the opening credits as Jack Morrell, Steve Gutenberg, passes a group of 3 women with the word San Francisco printed on their T-shirts. It's just a whole bunch of crazy stuff. By the time the film was released during the summer of '80, the disco genre had not only peaked in yes, but it was also experiencing a backlash there. As a result, the film received scathing reviews from critics and performed poorly at the box office. At a cost of approximately $20 million, the film was a colossal failure financially, bringing in the tenth of what they in gross revenue. It was considered one of the reasons for the downfall of AFD. Our timing was wrong, and the business and timing is everything, wrote Lou Grade, who invested in the movie. Okay, so it's still, God, there's tons. Much. So I'm going to go ahead and give you some other, and one of the funny things on this, let me get to this other page. Hold on, maybe it's on here. Get down here. I'm not going to worry about it. Jacques Morelli, who did was the music guy. When we went in the studio, there was a big orchestra, like a 122-piece orchestra. And I remember I went up to him, and the music was like whatever. And I said, "Why do you have a 122-piece orchestra making this movie?" And he seriously looked at me and goes, "John Williams used 121 for Star Wars." That was how they made their decision about how many musicians to hire for the thing. I mean, it was one of the craziest things. And I figure Can't Stop the Music is a good way to end this year. There's so much craziness this year that this feels like a fitting way to pull it all together here. So I'm going to play a few tracks from this soundtrack. I mean, it's pretty nuts. So this is the title song from this Can't Stop the Music with the Village People. I was trying to find, let me see if I can get some, I'll try to do this while it's playing. I'll see if I can get some more credits as to musicians and stuff. But here we go. Can't Stop the Music, the Village People, the original soundtrack from 1980. I worked on so many disco records back in like the late 70s and stuff, and with Donna Summers and all kinds of stuff. It was every time I'd walk in, if I opened up the charts and it was octaves, I knew exactly what we were playing. I'll give you a little more info here. Can't Stop the Music was written by B. Whitehead, H. Bellolo, Jacques Morelli, and P. Hurt. Next song I'll play is Samantha, and this is Bellolo, Morelli, and Hurt. Did this one. It was mixed at Rusk Studios, recorded at Sigma Sound Studios, Wally Hiders, arranged, conducted by Horace Ott, O-T-T. It was great. Horace was Morelli's like right-hand guy, and he's conducting, but he really wasn't sure how clicks and stuff worked, so he was in this room with all these musicians looking at the clock on the wall, and he was conducting, watching the clock, and when it was like almost over, so his tempos would speed up and slow down. I mean, it was one of the most out things I ever worked on, but I'm really glad that I got a chance to be involved in this one. It was really great. The producer and composer, given credit for this thing, is Jacques Morelli, mixed by Jürgen Koppers. Did a bunch of projects with Jürgen. Okay, let me play a Samantha. Let's jump into Samantha here. There we go. What a trip. Really a trip. I'll do one more for you here. This is called The Sound of the City. Here we go.
own thing. New York, a city with gusto. New York is a big show. It's what's happening. Listen to the sound of the city. Listen to the cats on the street. New York is the fans of the Yankees. New York is a cop on a beat. Listen to the sound of the city. Listen to the steeple bells chime. New York is a city of magic. New York is a hip state of mind. New York, the city of nightlife. The city of bright lights. We're doing our part. New York, the city of fashion, the city of passion. This town has a heart. Listen to the sound of the city. New York is the pulse of the world. New York is the Mecca that's Broadway. New York is the smile on your girl. Listen to the sound of the city. Listen to the sound of my town. You can take a ride on a tramway. Hold your breath while you're coming down. New York, perpetual motion. From ocean to ocean, there's none to compare. New York, the parks and the playgrounds. New York is the sweet sound of children at play. Listen to the sound of the city. New York after dark is alive.
Yeah.
Uptown in the Bronx or in Harlem, New York is a city with pride. Listen to the sound of the city. New York is both future and past. New York is the city of music. New York is the city with class. Listen to the sound of the city. Listen to the sound of my town. New York is the city of cities. New York is still wearing the crown. Listen to the sound of the city. Listen to the people I love. Everyone is speaking your language. New York speaks in your native tongue.
I mean, imagine a room with 122 musicians in it playing, and everybody's dancing. It was nuts. It was really a fun project, really crazy, but can't stop the music. We can't stop the music. Music is one of the things that's saving our sanity in this world. It's so important, and on any level. And this was really some fun stuff. So I want to wish everybody a very safe and sane New Year's. Be careful out there. People get kind of crazy and irresponsible, so be on alert. Pay close attention to everything going on around you. Make sure you're okay, because it's a nice night, but it can be a stressful one sometimes. So take good care of yourself, and I will see you next year, like tomorrow, and we'll jump back into some more music then. So all my best wishes, everybody. Happy New Year.